bard skills.
I am a bardman with bard skills, but I am also proficient in history and arcana, and I feel like I have very little to contribute to the history of things.
Not true. You have proficiency. You can offer teamwork.
Yeah.
Then Casimir with
always
zero
helps.
into
Like
Mordecai's not
that's
exactly the
always
smartest boy. He has an intelligence of +1, so.
To be fair, until recently, I had an intelligence. I only have an intelligence of +2. So,
Yeah.
Brian's the real big brain now around here.
I'm the dumb boy.
Casimir's just a big old lovable himbo.
Yeah.
I just hit this. Put me in the direction.
The himbo.
Casimir is the himbo. But Jacob was a himbo too, and I loved him too, so.
There can only be one. Casimir just T-posed harder, I guess.
See, Mordecai's not a himbo because he's not a buff boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. I'm good to keep going, and we can have these talks about cosmology and the nature of life in the universe. At least in this universe.
I do promise you, you will have that ability, because as Mordecai, tip, 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 tip. Oh,
Yeah,
good
I'm
thing
the
I don't
slow
have to
mover.
breathe.
I'm
I'd
the
probably
one
be
on
out of
the
breath.
ground.
Tip, 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 tip. Tip,
I'm
tip,
the
tip,
one on the ground. Yep.
Tip, 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 tip. There's going to be plenty of stairs and plenty of hallways as well that are going to continue this dusty, kind of caked with dust. Things in here aren't too ruinous. I mean, there's like some natural cracks and whatnot, but it's not like you're coming across debris piles. There's no roots that are growing through this place.
Looks more abandoned.
Yeah, it just seems like people were here, then they weren't, and then age just set in over time. So a lot of the dust on the ground probably didn't blow in from the outside, but it could be, little, tremors here and there, or, if there was some sort of like an earthquake or something, it probably like got a lot of dust, maybe some pebbles and whatnot, but this place certainly has withstood things. I mean, Mesomasca is rather close to a volcano, so their rumblings aren't exactly a there's something that are not unknown to Mesomaskins. But yeah, I mean, this place is old. It's been standing here for a while, and it's just gotten dusty and a little crumbly from time and events. I will say, though, now that you're out of the main hall, and you're going into some other side hallways, because between the four of you, I mean, you can peer down, you can look for stairs and other ways to continue up. These side hallways are not as grand as the main hall, but they're still rather large. They should be able to accommodate any, say, huge-sized creatures that might want to amble through them very comfortably. But they are smaller. They're not quite as dusty. And you are finding in that more angular dwarven style, there are depictions of labor. And you are seeing three different sizes of people that are laboring, and apparently they're laboring on behalf of giants and dragons, in no real particular order. But you see primarily humans. Then you do see a good contingent of dwarves, and then you also see halflings. Not gnomes in particular. Gnomes have their own little quirks that separate them from halflings. I'm sure Bright will be happy to fill you in on all the little, all the differences and such. But these are...
We sparkle. They don't sparkle very much.
Yeah, these are clearly not depicted as sparkling. So yeah, you're seeing the majority of the laborers are human, though you are getting depictions of dwarves and halflings that are also laboring, and you're seeing different types of dragons that are illustrated, and you're seeing different types of giants that are being illustrated too. None of the illustrations of giants you're seeing look like the Fomorians, besides the fact that there's generally a size category.
So that definitely makes it seem like they're strange or an outside force.
You are also seeing depictions of these various sized humanoids that are entertaining the dragons and the giants, that are and entertaining in all kinds of ways, from juggling to blood sport to perhaps more adult encounters. You're finding that they are also apparently a source of nutrition, as it seems as if there are maybe in a sense farmers or ranchers among the dragons or the giants that have just cultivated populations of these humans, and they are you are seeing them being eaten in different ways as well. Overall, the dragons and the giants seem to be enjoying life. They have food, they have fun, they frolic. Labor is provided for them.
They got comfortable. That's how come the humans overran them. They got comfortable.
And almost as if right on cue, as you continue walking down the hallway, it's getting dark. Or rather, it's getting black. It's starting as a light, just sort of as a light haze. It's intangible, but, bright dims. But it's not just, but she's not producing light in this darkness. She's actually just, extinguishing. So this is an intangible lights. Void that you're walking into now.
I'm gonna try dancing lights to see if that helps anything.
Sure.
Professor, can you see okay?
That is a good question. Can I?
No.
I cannot.
Do we need to stay close?
The dancing lights go in, you summon them back out, and they do re-emerge, so they don't get extinguished. It's just like whatever this is just seemingly has no connection with light. Light doesn't work with it, or it doesn't work with light. So it may suppress it, but it's not anti-magic, it's not destroying your spell. It's just that any light produced is not, it just doesn't manifest.
That's
Then
good.
I'm gonna keep the lights
I
closed.
suspect that anti-magic might be bad for several of us.
Yeah.
Not just practically speaking, but biologically speaking.
Yeah.
Still have no idea if it's magic that's keeping me alive or not.
I'm pretty sure that it's magic that's keeping me alive.
Yeah.
What with being undead and all.
You just walk in, the whole party just drops dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Now be
Drops
careful.
re-dead. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe the professor would survive. That's good.
He's the only one who's not undead among us.
Yep, that's true.
I
That's
better hope that
very true.
he's not powerful enough to dispel us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just needs to take 3 points of failed death throw damage, and then he's done, so.
Yeah. Okay. So moving along, or optionally not, would you guys be interested in checking out the tunnel downstairs that's not quite so ominous and gloomy and dark?
What
Yeah.
I
Because
imagine that
that-
what we're looking for is up. It's logical.
Yeah, but the thing is that might be a defense system of some kind.
Well, I'm just thinking the more we learn, the better prepared we'll be. And it's not that far. We just have to go back down these stairs. I know that's kind of a bummer for you, Mordecai. I mean, you
I'm
could
the only
always
one
jump.
who can climb the stairs.
Maybe Casimir can carry you down and you won't have to walk.
I can do that.
Sure.
I mean, it's not like it's going anywhere. We can always come back here if it turns out to be a dead end.
Right. Just. Right. Okay.
Plus, we know from when we were in Mesomaska that the blob of blackness was there, right? So when we go in, we're probably going into that, and it might be that we end up getting booted back out into Mesomaska.
That is true. That's very true.
It's very possibly just like a portal.
Possibly.
So
Let's
let's check downstairs first.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Backtrack, and you make your way through the side hallways, the various depictions. You go back out into the grand hall, and then you sort of you swoop down here. Casimir is just carrying you, and the other two are you're in a little flying V formation. And
I don't exactly want to spend my one fly because I don't know how long we're going to be here.
Yeah, no, we don't need to cast a fly for this. It's not that far.
I'm the only one bound to the ground.
so maybe if you put a hook through the two eye sockets of Bright and you hold onto a rope, she'll just kind of.
No, we're not
No.
gonna do that.
No, because that sounds like it would hurt, and I don't want to hurt my one
Flyboarding.
friend. And the professor and Casimir are also very good friends.
Mordecai,
My
hurting is for
one
people
good,
with
good,
nerve
good
endings.
I was just about to say, well, Mordecai, didn't know you thought so lowly of us.
I've been with Bright this whole time. It makes sense.
All right, so you make your way here, and you are going through. You're going around. You're hanging this ever turning left curve, and you do feel that it turns into a ramp, and that you're always turning left, but you're also ascending.
Ah,
If we're ascending down?
No, you're ascending up.
Oh.
Don't put it past me to have you ascending down at some point. But
sounds like a very Maddie thing to do.
it is ascending up, and you can see that there is more of these sort of city silhouette shapes through these blue filter windows.
So when we were back in Mesomaska, the picture of the tower you showed us was almost like there was like a spiral staircase almost going up it, wasn't there? I mean, it had those concentric ring kind of look to it.
Here, yeah, I'll fetch it to.
Almost like ziggurat style or something on the outside.
Kinda.
Of course, I didn't name it something very intuitive like the tower. One moment.
Gotta name your scenes properly, Maddie.
Yeah. Maybe it's in there. And if it's not there, oh, Fiery Tower. That's probably the one.
Yeah, you should really come up with more descriptive names.
All right. So on the outside, it looked blasted and ruined.
Okay.
And then there was, an ever nicer stone wall that was being built around it. But as you can see, that blob of darkness was towards the top here. But given the windows and such that you're looking at, this is what I meant by you might be like right up towards the top of the bricks, or they didn't build up further. If indeed you're looking out here on this square.
Okay.
The outside looked a lot rougher than it did on the inside. However, that's what this place was before that magical explosion happened.
The inside was Mr. Halver's
Library.
magical mansion.
Yeah, in mansion. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's interesting. We didn't really know how long Mr. Halver had owned it. But yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
That blob at the top definitely reminds me of the tower in the town.
Well, I'm just thinking that, isn't it interesting that this whole thing was owned by a dragon now in the end?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I may have been not necessarily right, but I may, as Manny said, we were thinking along the right lines. That's sus. That's like Among Us getting airlocked into space levels of sus.
I saw Mr. Halver vent.
Yeah, Mr. Halver vented. He's the imposter. And you were consorting with him, Lorelei. You dastardly accomplice, you.
Norlai's sus. She's the third imposter.
Nora already got ejected.
Yeah, Lorelei already got ejected.
I will bring this up. Given the investigation that was done, though, do you know the clues that caused this thing to manifest and to just be this ruptured burning thing where it didn't exist before?
Well, I mean, it happened when Mr. Halver died.
Yeah. The whatever was cloaking it disappeared or whatever, or the rift opened and dumped it on the city.
I mean, we don't know that it was when Mr. Halver died because, I mean, we were on a mission together. Those mushrooms, and Celine blew it, and then that's when Mr. Halver came out, and then there was, we thought it was Shonaruth, but maybe it wasn't. Blake turned Mr. Halver insane, and we had to kill him, and that's really when it. I mean, we just got back, but all those different things happened. It could have been any of them.
Not when he died. When he went mad.
Yeah, potentially.
And that could have been Shonaruth, which we don't know what it is yet. Or that could have been Mercury.
I guess it could have been. Would she have that kind of power?
She's basically a demigod.
I know, but
She's a
Mr.
warlock
Halver was no chopped liver. Until we were done with him, that is.
From the investigation that Jaden had conducted, prior to this thing emerging, there were two figures seen running away from the warehouse. The normal warehouse that's supposed to be there. When the explosion occurred, both of them were sent flying. One of them broke a horn off his head.
Norlai's brother.
And Loki.
Yeah, it was Loki and Grimhilder.
And
we knew it was Loki and Grimhilder.
Bright was visited by a little silver dragon spirit and was put on a series of puzzles to solve. So a dragon was giving out some little puzzles here, and you figured out that this key had a name of Von Allais.
Von Allais. Oh.
Grimhilder did it.
Oh.
Grimhilder Von Allais, as you discussed prior, is most likely in a pact with the Fiend. The Fiend most likely being Mercury.
Mercury.
Yeah.
And Loki is in a pact with Shonaruth.
Yes.
They're conspiring together, or at least Grimhilda and Loki are. Loki dealt with Halvar because Halvar would have put a stop to it. And from beyond the grave, at the very least, he gave instructions to Bright to point her in the direction of Von Allais, in the direction of Grimhilda.
Right.
If
Yeah, so
Mr. Halvar, if a silver dragon was known to be alive, why would Grimhilder, at the behest of her patron, want to blow up its house?
There's one of two reasons. Either it would kill Mr. Halvar.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of cool stuff in there. He had his history records, his home movies. He had all of his magic trinkets.
He had a lot of
magical
magic
research.
items in there.
He had all kinds of stuff in there. So
probably like robes of the Archmagi and spell books and potions, a ton of scrolls. I mean, just all kinds of stuff.
It would be enough.
We found at the pit.
What?
That was probably all Halvar's stuff that we found at the pit.
We found at the pit. That's all Mr. Halvar's shit.
Also, an explosion with that many magical items in the radius of it. The release of magic would be more than enough to tear a rift.
Well, but the magic items didn't explode. I mean, if they had exploded, they wouldn't be in the pit. They'd just be gone. That's how explosions are.
Casimir, you're in a very unique position to perhaps have some insight, as you kind of are a silver dragon and a fiend.
Yeah, you're a bit of both, and neither at the same time.
And at the core of it, though, you're still a hunter, and you get the hunter-prey dynamic. Give me a survival at advantage.
Ooh, we're finding out all sorts of big stuff in episode 99.
I'm gonna use my +1 for fun.
Yeah, you are floating at more than a +1. Ooh, 21.
21.
All right. Casimir, in thinking this through, from the things that you've seen, and there's a lot that you don't have to be super smart to put together. It looks as if the tieflings had come about through hunting and eating dragons and dragon eggs. There was some kind of a big mass revolt. The dragons were hunted down, especially now that you've seen those hall etchings, right? And here you are, as the alpha tiefling, the one who ingested the most potent of magics, the most potent of strength and intelligence and all this other stuff. You had sacrificed so much. You've risked yourself, let alone other people, who may have been your own friends or family. And now you rule a place that is your own, that caters to your whim and will. You are the strongest. You have people who answer to you. And then you learn that this race of people who are probably really upset at the things that you did, might not be as gone as you thought that they were.
And thus you'd want to make sure to tie up any loose ends.
And you gotta maintain your dominance. And Casimir, once more, to continue your theoretical, being the dragon, elf, fiend, undead,
Conglomeration.
yeah, being the Mary Sue that you
Amalgamation.
clearly are, or I guess a Gary Stew.
Excellent.
Yes.
Mary Sue is a genderless term.
You are, I would like you to next make an insight. And you can do this also at advantage.
How many +1s do I have?
Oh, you have. I even have these in their own place here. So you have, you have 3 that you're floating.
Okay, I'm gonna use another one.
Okay.
17.
17. When in terms of cities, I know you're not too much of a city boy, but this can work, I guess, out in territories too. But in a city, when you have cats that roam the streets, usually in a given territory, like a city block or something, there's like a big old mean tomcat that protects the area, right? Claims all the females, drives off all the males, gets the best mice, etc., etc. If that big old tomcat were distracted itself, that's a good time when another, a rival would want to move in and try and claim that territory. And so it would seem, in your instinctive reckoning, that you, Casimir, have pieced together at least the recent events in Hell. Whatever the time frame, you at least have the order of events that seems plausible. That Miss Mercury, who's been apparently behind the scenes for quite some time, and if you believe Professor Cypherius, she's been doing a lot of work up in Shadowheart. But something happens. She panics or makes a rash decision, and this has now started a chain of events that has led to the current state of affairs.
Her capture and Abishai's subsequent takeover. Which means Abishai needs to die. Violently. If at all possible.
Mordecai, it seems like you have Cypher's ethical approval on that.
That is what we came here to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then we need to find Abishai.
We do. And we doubt that he went up, so...
Do we doubt that he went up?
We don't really know where he went. I was hoping we'd find him down this hallway. Maybe we will. We could continue down the hallway.
Well, it just so happens the hallway, as it does ascend up, eventually gets to a light mist of this darkness, then a more medium mist. And if you continue, presumably you have, from a different direction, you're now going into the bottom of that bubble.
Well, that's
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 two
a thing.
directions that go to the same place. Basically.
We
Do
don't have
to be
we
trapped
don't
in a
have a
hole, or
choice.
do we
Then.
want to trap in the open?
at least we didn't find the same ogre in each hallway.
That's right.
There's no way down, I don't think.
Well, I mean, we could go back the way we came, but we wouldn't.
That wouldn't solve anything.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to go into the breach.
Okay. So somebody's gonna need to put a rope through my eye holes.
Well, it's not me. I don't
Clever,
have hands.
clever.
but just so we can all stay together.
Yeah, we should all stay
I'm-
together.
This does not constitute bait. this constitutes a safety line.
I have 50-foot rope.
That's convenient. And then we can each hold the rope, except Professor. Do you want to?
Do you want to be tied to the rope at the other end?
You can use your tongue to hold it if you want.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe he could just hold on to it.
I can do that. Well,
Yeah. You just wrap your tongue around there and.
Let's
All right,
get them
buddy
together.
system, everyone.
He's
Yeah.
just unable to talk the whole time. He's all dropped there.
So,
so unfortunately for you, I have telepathy.
so it's hard for me. I mean, this is kind of uncomfortable. I've got a rope in my eye. I mean, you might think it's bad to have just like a speck of dust in your eye, but this is a whole rope.
It's just an entire wicker rope.
It's like sometimes the eyelash breaks off and gets in your eye. It's like that, except the eyelash is like 2 inches thick.
Hey, you're getting tugged by your by the area between your sockets there. You know?
Yeah. So, ow, but ow. Alright, I'll manage. Ow.
Okay.
Pull me gently. Ow.
Or I can hold you.
Oh yeah, that'll be comfortable. That'll be good art.
Just holding a skull.
You're holding a skull, and then Kazir is holding you.
That or just like a
Cypher is
bowling
just at
ball.
the
You got two
float
eye
and be
sockets in
sad.
the nose. You just sort of.
Yeah, you can
no.
use that to lean with a
So
skull
now-
in your hand.
Now don't tie the rope at the end so that I can just slide off it if I need to. You
Yeah,
know, like beads off of an unhooked necklace.
yeah.
Except it's me.
Just try not to get separated. Stay together.
Okay.
And I'm gonna keep dancing lights up until they're snuffed out.
Yeah. And I'll go to maximum me, by which I mean maximum, right?
Maximum
Four
of
monsters
overflow.
hold hands in a dark hallway.
Quiet.
Isn't it beautiful?
This is now Monsters Inc. 5th edition. Let's see if we can scare people.
I mean, all of us are pretty frightening. Let's be real.
Yeah, well,
I am probably
yeah, you
the
all
least
are
frightening.
very much. Not your old selves.
Mm.
All right.
Oh,
Are you staying on the outside perimeters, like someone kind of like holding their hand against the wall, and or how are you doing this?
Staying close, but single file might be ideal.
Okay.
Marching order and all that.
I'll
Yeah.
be in.
Basic. You know what I think? Casimir should be floating up a little bit, holding Mordecai, who's holding Bright, who has the rope through her eyes, and I'm bringing you along by the rope, like a big ass meat balloon.
I mean, it's not a bad descriptor.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we can do.
Okay.
And you bust out the sketchbook to draw this. Yes,
You
beautiful.
You continue walking up and up, and or floating, or
In some
being
cases.
carried or drug along. by your eye sockets. And now there's no real sense, like, you can feel this wall. The wall's texture doesn't seem to change. The texture, I mean, it always feels like you're curving, because you'll stub the outside of your foot if you try and walk in a straight line. But there's no other sense of direction or time or much else as you are continuing to ascend in this spiral up.
Listening for any sound.
I just hope that we don't, like, end up going down, down, down. Oh yeah, by the way, you've hit the infinite layers of the abyss. Have fun. I hope that doesn't happen.
And that's basically where we've been this whole time.
It presses on, telling the time is minutes. Maybe it's only been a couple minutes. Although it could have been days. None of you are particularly hungry. Mordecai, I mean, you haven't had, you haven't felt famished.
Similar to the Fae.
It's
Similar to the Fae cave.
walking and walking and walking on. Then there is
Oh no, the light.
each of you can see each other in a directionless light. No shadows, just there you are. You're all holding hands as you went in. What are you? You can see each other again. There's no wall though, Mordecai. Now that you can see, there's no wall behind you, in front of you, beyond whatever this illumination is that exists but doesn't. I guess just how this is darkness but it isn't. It's like there was nothing there.
Does this seem familiar to me?
Yes.
What about Casimir?
Yes. Yeah, Professor, you were here when you were in the Fall Fire crater. There was an incident, and you found yourself in this place.
It's also what ended up turning me into a 100-foot giant temporarily.
Yes.
I've been
That
there
was
several
fun.
times.
Yes, you have, Mordecai.
Yeah. So Cypher kind of just, like, with his eyes looks to you guys. It's just like, does this place feel familiar to anyone else, or is it just me?
It's just you.
I've been to a place like this several times.
Oh. I guess it's not just you. Sorry. Spoke too soon. Does this place feel unfamiliar to anyone else, or is it just me?
Wait, have I seen this place? Yeah, probably on that point.
Casimir, I don't recall.
Unless it happened at Fall Fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you bounced in here quickly, but you didn't have quite the interaction the professor did, if I recall.
Yeah,
I spoke with a god.
Yes, you did.
And I've spoken with Symphonics here, and who else? This was where we tried to rescue Norlai. You all remember that, right? No, right, you remember that, right?
No, I wasn't there. I mean, you told me the story, but I didn't go in.
Oh, right. It was me and Jacob.
All this stuff popping up.
I had asked Weejas here if I would ever see Celine again.
You can talk to Weejas here? That's
What I
interesting.
did. I don't know if it was real or not, but that's what happened. That's what it looked like. It was her face. Every depiction.
Yeah, no. Cypher's gonna point out that there's some floating texts.
Yeah, we can all see that. It says,
Good, so I'm not going completely insane.
What do you... Shh. Oh.
What do you seek?
Seek. Oh, seek. Oh, okay.
Oh, we're gonna get some
It
cryptic
says
messages,
spec.
I'm sure.
Oh, there we go. It's done now.
I don't know. I suppose I seek Abishai.
A little mundane. I'd like to slide off the rope now.
Sure.
I want to float up to the letters.
Okay.
I just want to look at them closely. Do they change? What if I go behind them? Look how small and cute I am. What if I go behind them?
They always appear to be front-facing to you.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
Excellently done, Noo.
So, have you seen these letters before? I don't remember hearing about letters.
I don't remember 100%. But I think... Now correct me if I'm wrong, Maddie. I think Weejas asked me the same thing. Something similar.
If it wasn't the specific words, then yes, it was...
It was something along those lines. Because I remember it.
This seems to be a place of... It's simple but a piercing question. Some way to receive an answer, or a reply of some variety.
Always very cryptic. Because that's a loaded question.
How do you answer it?
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. Because I've answered it several times and it's never given me what I want.
Okay. That's good to know.
Or at least it gave me an answer, but I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. Maybe because I'm an idiot.
Well, it's always hard to understand answers. So do you think this is Ouija's sending us this, or do you think it's someone else? Last time, I mean, you thought it was Shonaruth before.
Yeah, I've shot it with Shonaruth before. I've seen it with Symphonics, and I've seen it with Ouija's. I don't know what this is. It always asks this question. In some form or fashion. Something about injecting your will into the world.
If that's the case. Cypher is going to look up to the letters. What do you seek? What do you seek? The Cypher would say this out loud.
Okay.
I seek to understand those who came before me, and both the wisdom and the power to avoid their mistakes. My body back would also be nice.
I seek to go after the professor for that double avoiding mistake flavor.
Casimir? Do you want to talk to the floating green glowing letters?
I don't think it's smart to talk to floating green lanterns. Who knows who made those?
Psst, Mordecai, you should go after Celine. What do you seek?
Peace. I want peace. There's a lot for that.
So Mordecai says peace. Professor, you wanted wisdom?
Yeah.
I have Bright's answer. And Casimir, I'm sorry if I missed. Or are you staying silent?
He's thinking.
Casimir
Well,
is an elf dragon demon fiend thing of very little brain.
What do I want? I'm not already super powerful. I don't really need everything.
But you're an apex predator, right?
Wait.
What does an apex predator need?
I seek my next prey.
Is that your answer, or was that answer? Is
Yeah.
that the answer to the green letters, or is that to cipher?
That is the green letters.
Okay. The
I accidentally closed my browser for a minute. Then go forth and do what? Did it say?
Into
Go
death.
forth into death.
Into what?
Into death.
into death.
But I don't. That's not what I wanted.
It seemed to disagree with you and the others. That is seemingly what it is that you actually were seeking.
I do not see how that will bring prey. I mean, the death of prey, yes, but
Is there
Yeah,
any way, like, opening up or revealing itself to us now that the text is gone?
No. In fact, the light, the directionless light shuts off. And it is just darkness again.
who is not attached to the rope?
I slipped off the rope, but you can put it back through me again.
I will do that. And I will hang on to Bright.
Okay. I'll nestle in.
Cypher, you still have rope?
Yes.
We are all
Doing
here.
this
Yes, I
together,
do.
right?
That we are.
I can't see shit.
Neither can I.
How do you think I feel? I'm nothing but eyeballs and can't see anything! You're all complaining like, oh, my 2 eyeballs, I can't see. I have 5 of the things that I can't see.
Well, whose fault is that?
To be fair, I actually don't know how this happened to me.
Then we press forward, right?
Yep.
We press forward.
Stay close.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's the best ever.
Oh, I missed it. Did you hold up a drawing?
I just
held up.
Oh.
Stay very, very close to each other.
All right. So you all.
Don't forget to clap the coconuts together.
Yes, that's very important.
There is still an outer wall now that you're back to normal, not normal darkness. No light, but you can feel a wall. And in fact, this wall, you're feeling engravings passing under your fingers. Little bumps and cracks, probably other drawings or names. So it does seem like you're actually passing by and through, which is a more measured feel than what you were doing before. Because that was just sort of like, I'm touching a wall, but it was all the same, and we could have been doing this forever. But now you're actually getting textures, and it seems like you're actually making your way through some kind of a room, some kind of another place. And then the darkness turns a little green, and a little bit brighter green, and a little bit brighter green, as it seems like you are exiting this ink ovoid area. And ahead, and with perhaps one more left turn, but this one's a hard left turn, like you did at the bottom of the stairs to turn left onto the ramp. Now you're turning off of the ramp ahead. And ahead of you, almost just as large a space on top as there was below, though with more and clearer decorations, carvings. Perhaps this was representative or a reflection of what's down below. But up here, there's some kind of a large green crystal and other little towers of them. You also see
Soul Trap?
Sound a feasting horn.
Eclipse of Draws, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. You emerge from the darkness and continue. There's a dead end at the end of this ramp, leading only to a chamber that's lit with green light. Maybe some kind of a beacon at the top. This, however, is not jiving with the rest of the tower. This is not sculpted, no masonry. This seems to be a manifestation or something extra or added. You see the bodies of still living gribblers impaled on several of these towers. They kind of spasm and jerk. They shout out. One of them looks over to you. Mordecai! and is kind of, but it has a big spike going through it. Ahead of you, directly, dressed in very fine fighting garb, is Bambardelus. Large sword in hand. Flanking him are Glenn and Gary. You can tell by their unique horns on the sides of their heads. And behind them, standing in rusted armor, large spikes kind of swooping back, straps holding everything together, is the bodyguard. The bodyguard has his back turned to you currently and is regarding the crystal. The others, the other three, minus any of the red gribblers that apparently were abducted and brought here to be impaled for some reason, are noticing you all.
Do they look hostile?
I'd say yes, simply because they're dressed for combat, but they were probably already dressed for combat when they raided the circus and were slaughtering people. So far, they're each standing on one of the pedestals next to these green pillars, but they've not said or made any particular moves. Aside from that, you see minor head movements as they are measuring the four of you up.
Okay. I want to use my voice.
I don't know. Do you have that written down on your character sheet?
I was thinking of doing a magic thing for this, but I guess I just won't. Bambardelus, you recognize Mordecai, and you probably don't recognize the rest of us, but believe it or not, we're your friends, or at least we were.
Chroma Company.
Did you go through a room where they said go forth into death? Because we went through that and it wasn't a lot of fun.
You have. And he's speaking, but it's in an odd cadence. Chosen death.
No, we didn't choose that. In fact, that's kind of explicitly the opposite of what most of us were asking for.
And Glenn over here says, you could have chosen truth. You could have chosen, says Gary, other things. But you sought death.
No, death isn't what any of us wished for. Must be some sort of communication. I know my infernal is terrible. I have a thick gnomish accent plus a thick Nelfeshni accent, and it's just really hard. But death is definitely not what we chose.
The bodyguard turns, says nothing, but makes a gesture out to you all. And these three step down off their pedestals.
We will defend ourselves. I don't want to hurt you.
I have no issue hunting you, though.
Without speaking, the armored figure simply nods, and we'll break here so we roll initiative next week. As it's almost 2 a.m.
Mordecai, do you have the magic crystals? We might need to use them against the Fey crystal. Assuming this is a Fey crystal.
Magic crystals? What are we
You know, the
talking about?
Norelei bones.
You know what? I might have given those back.
Giving them back to who?
Wait, like, I don't know that I had any on my person specifically. 'Cause I don't have it on my sheet.
Oh, well, you're muted. I mean, but you had them, right? I mean,
Did have them at one point. Because I borrowed them. You're still muted. Oh, woo.
You definitely have them because when we were in the
Yeah.
right before the pitch, he specifically said that you were carrying them.
Yes.
Ah, okay, yes, then I am carrying them.
yeah, okay.
Put that on your sheet. This game.
Okay, yes, I have them on my sheet now.
I hope y'all are ready.
We'll be here next week.
Yeah. This is gonna be an interesting fight.
Episode 100.
Yeah. For those of you, if I missed any of you coming by and either if it was a host, a raid, a re-up, or anything, thank you all very much out there for participating, for watching, for cheering, for even if you just had us on in the background, because you know what, we're good entertainment. You might have been doing something else. Every eyeball helps. Every chat interaction helps. Every one of you that lurks, that comments, that gives out little fun points with inspiration. It's all appreciated, and we will reconvene this coming Tuesday, and I'm hoping that this setup will look a little different because I'll actually have this week to work on readjusting things and seeing if I can spruce anything up.
I'll definitely help you out with that.
I would like to do that to get things a little bit, you know, this is minimalistic. I guess it works, but yep. Remember, the rest of this week I'm taking off with the exception of maybe a random stream to test out some settings. I'll let you all know in our Discord, !Discord, if you need a link to it.
Also, session 100 next week.
Yes, session 100.
Look forward to it.
There's gonna be a rumble, and we'll see what happens as the party has chosen death of all the things they could have asked for.
I still don't think we asked for that.
I think by going forward we did.
In fairness, you were told to stay away.
We didn't
Yeah,
vote.
well, see, we never do what we're told, and now
We're
if
Chroma
he's gonna
Company.
be a pain in the butt, he's gonna have to get stabbed in the face repeatedly until his face stops resembling a face.
I mean, and I know for a
You know
fact
how
that
it
even having a rope stuck through your face isn't very pleasant. So, you know, getting stabbed in the face has to be worse.
Yes. All right. Well, let me before we have our traditional cooldown talk and such, I should find someone to raid. And let's bring over our love and our energy. Because I'll have a cooldown and then I'm going to do a face plant into a pillow.
I look forward to a very interesting fight.
Yes.
Yeah, very interesting fight.
We are going to go raid the Torpid
Fighting
Network.
paladins, y'all.
And we'll return
We're
a
fighting
favor.
paladins. Most of us are evil things right now.
Yeah. Fiends, undead. Paladins are, I don't know. I hear they're pretty terrible.
I'm
terrible
none of
against
those
fiends
things.
and undead.
I'm none of those things.
You're an aberration.
Unfortunately, two of us are weak to radiant.
Wah wah.
3 maybe? If bright counts?
Count as what?
Undead.
Oh, I'm definitely undead.
Oh, yeah.
Undead, but not vulnerable to radiant.
Yeah, we're resistant to radiant. On account of
Yeah.
well, as long as we stay in my aura here.
Yeah,
Oh.
the death aura.
Bright stays close.
Hey.
I hold.
Okay, so here's what
formation.
we do. Mordecai and Casimir on one side and Bright in the middle.
We don't leave anywhere. We don't go anywhere without Bright tagging along. Both
Actually,
of us.
Bright can just stay in our squares.
Yeah, just someone wear her as a hat, and then it's like a little periapta blasting you wear. It's just
Those are
pew, pew, pew,
badass.
lasers.
Just like
Mordecai or Casimir, because
Flaming
I don't
Storm
have a
Thunder.
proper head in the traditional sense. But
You could
the
hold her in
tiger
your
is
mouth
taken
and kind of
down.
open your mouth and pew pew laser out of that.
I mean,
Yeah.
aren't you all head basically?
Pretty much. But the
For you,
tiger
a
is
cloak
taken
is a
down.
hat.
Yeah.
Or maybe a hat is a cloak. I'm not sure. One of those.
Okay, let us go.
All right, I'll see you all over at Torpid, at the Torpid
All
Network,
what,
everyone. Thank you. I'll be around on Discord. If any of you have a nitro boost to spare, we're so close to level 2. I'd appreciate it if you could throw it my way. That way I can get more emotes and... Oh no! It's too late. It auto-rated.
Yep.
Ah, boo.
Auto raid.
Well, let me
Auto raid.
make sure that...